The historical background is kind of important because it just happens that the power lifters figured out that the squat, press, and deadlift were the most accurate. Squat, bench press, deadlift are the most accurate measures of brute strength, right? And then aside from that, what are the training methods? Because if they weren't, then they would do something else in order to train for strength and then do squat, bench press, deadlift on the day of the meet. But it turns out that those lifts are also the ones that get trained in order to produce the strength.
Right.
So that's just a coincidence, an accident of history that the barbell was invented. Somebody would have figured out eventually, probably, right? But either way, so until probably CrossFit came along and then starting strength, that activity was isolated, and this is what Olympic lifting still suffers from to this day. That activity was performed almost exclusively by people who are either athletes playing football or something, or power lifters, right? So in other words, self-selected individuals who want to do that particular thing.
Right.
And then CrossFit came along in the early 2000s and showed people that barbells are a way to do fitness, right? And that hard shit and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And they introduced a whole bunch of soccer moms and accountants and office workers to barbell training. And then here we are kind of doing the same thing at a much larger scale, a more targeted scale.
Well, the problem with CrossFit is they got a lot of it right, but they got some extremely important things wrong.
Of course, yeah.
And I think we've come along and have clarified the process by which the best adaptation using barbells takes place.
Right.
Now,
and CrossFit had the opportunity to do exactly what we're doing, because now if you again, it's been a couple years, but I remember on their website they're going after like the general health, old people and stuff, and their recommendations are just silly when they could. I mean, they have all of the knowledge and the tools to do exactly what we're doing, and they weren't able to get it done, right? So what I mean is that you in starting strength, we've taken this thing that started in dingy, powerlifting gyms, and realize that it's the best way to produce performance improvements and health improvements. And now it's only been 10 years that barbells are like a mainstream thing.
Right.
And now how many years ago did
you'll have to credit CrossFit for that. They fixed it up so that damn near every fitness club in the world has got barbells in it now.
I was going to make the point, because starting strength has something to do with that too.
Yeah, you and CrossFit put more barbells in hands.
Crunch Fitness over there has 6 platforms with Olympic plates and a squat rack and a platform. Where, dude, even 5 years ago, you'd have one platform in a gym, maybe. And now it's just a standard deal. Yeah. So
right.
It's kind of a point now where I think most people are realizing that barbells are okay, for one, right? Because I think that was a problem. People thought barbells were dangerous.
Yeah.
And then number two, that it's no matter who it is, it's the best way to do shit in the fitness world. So like people were shocked to see old people doing deadlifts. They still are, actually, sometimes. Yeah. You'll see an old guy doing a deadlift and people freak the fuck out.
82-year-old man coming into the gym.
Yeah, and I don't know how many years it's going to
take. Deadlifting 300 pounds, and they do it all the time. We do this all over the country in our gym chain.
Right.
Starting strength gyms, all of them have got an 80-year-old guy that can deadlift 300. And so here's the chronology, all right? For a long time, Olympic lifters used barbells, all right? And then powerlifting developed, and powerlifters and Olympic lifters used barbells. Some bodybuilders used barbells too. The smarter ones used barbells. And the common thing there was that these guys wanted to be strong for their activity that they competed in. And then it became apparent that everybody needed to be stronger, and that when you got stronger, everything improved about everything else in your physical existence. When you got stronger, when your muscles got bigger, when your bones got denser, when your joints got tighter, when everything, this is what's wrong with stretching. What's wrong with tight joints? I never did understand it. So you begin to see in the middle 2000s, you began. Join us this week for Starting Strength Radio. After we dispose of the comments from the haters, we get into the meat of an interesting discussion about strength and how to train what are referred to as special populations. What we're going to show you is that there's no such thing as a special population. Friday, Starting Strength Radio.